Oh, yeah, it's the sweet, sweet sounds of another episode of the Social Distance Drinking Club. That's a wonderful photo. Just a wonderful photo.
Yeah, I like seeing Adam Ledford.
I do not here with us today. Ledford took time to hang out last week, Rune and all that. So between Tombstone and Rune was away from classwork and family, and today Ledford has the day off from this high-paying job we call Social Distance Drinking Club.
Drink to that.
Well, whoa. Who's getting paid?
Everyone we're buying beer from. They're getting paid. Thanks for joining us, everybody. As always, tell us what you're drinking in the comments, and we'll tell you what we've got. Mr. Green?
What's up?
In your glass.
I could go with Whitewater Draw from Run House in the 5-year anniversary glassware.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Mr. Barry?
I just picked this up. It is Distance Fog, the collab of Bottle Logic and Humble Sea.
Very nice. It looks juicy. I got, speaking of juice, finally got some of that Drecker stuff. This one's called Brains with 347 A's in it. But it's good. Real
one of those in my
fridge. It's good. It's solid. It's not like Answer juice by any means. So on from the Answer, if you're listening, just know that your juice is delicious. Never said that to a man, but I would tell him that to his face.
He'd probably appreciate that too.
I would assume so. I'd say so. Yeah. Oh, Mankey has joined us. Thanks for joining Mr. Mankey, drinking a classic American Pils from Tombstone, which, speaking of which, for those of you who did not catch the news, we went down, Adam Ledford and myself, and brewed some beer with Mr. Weedy Weinthal, and it will get canned this next Sunday. You guys
are playing, right?
Yeah. And everyone's going. We're all going.
I got to take part in this collab somehow, and I've heard Canning Day is fun. So, yeah.
It should be a real good time. Mark Chata says, juice is awesome. Yes, it is. So good. You guys had some Answer juice with me, I want to say what? Like a couple months prior to the pandemic, I think I had some.
Wasn't that my housewarming engagement party?
Yes, your housewarming engagement party. That would have been, well, no, that would have been before. That would have been last year.
It was like last fall, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last day that Arizona football won a game, if I remember correctly.
Colorado game, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're playing Colorado. It was their 4th and final win of the football season.
Undefeated in 2020.
How far into the season was that it was their final win?
It was the 5th game.
Okay. All right. So they made it halfway through, basically, and then it was over.
Nothing else happened after that.
Oh, I like that the JJM actually has the date met, like it's ingrained 10/4/19. You want to know what day Arizona played its last winning game? 10/4/19.
So it's been a while.
It has been a while. It has been a while.
So you're saying we're due
for a win? Yes.
That Drecker that you have, is that one of the IPAs or is that one of the like chunky sours that everyone's all in?
You know, this is the double fruit smoothie sour. I had one of the IPAs, but this is the double fruit smoothie sour. It just seemed like a nice brunch drink, you know?
Reasonable.
Yeah. Kind of scary. The can art's creepy and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on. The whole skull with one eye and actual brains thing is tripping me out. But
I think our friend Sam Fraser gave me a can of that, actually.
I have one more can, so if somebody does want it, let me know.
I have one as well.
Well,
I almost thought about opening that.
You still can. There's still time for you to open it.
Hey, I'm doing the carb cycling, man. This is like half my carbs for the day.
Fair enough. How's that going during the pandemic? Without gyms, they're an integral part of life.
I mean, the CrossFit gym Ellie and I go to, we borrowed a 50-pound dumbbell, so my virtual CrossFit classes have gotten a lot more serious with that dumbbell rather than my 30-pounder. So doing like, single arm snatches with 50 pounds is It's a serious workout, and then eating 220 grams of protein per day. My body is adjusting to the new diet I've been doing for about a week. The first couple of days, I thought I was going to vomit from all the meat I was eating and stuffing my face with. But
was it Chris Hemsworth that had that? I know every time one of these actors has their crazy bodily transformation, there are all these articles like, look at what he ate and did to become this jacked. But I think it was Hemsworth that said that his trainer was calling him at 2 a.m. to tell him he needed to get up and eat a whole pizza. Like, middle of the night. He's like, I need you to put this in your body now.
I'll happily find a trainer like that. I believe in the 2 a.m. pizza diet.
I mean, I think on low carb days, I think I'm supposed to get like 2,400 calories, but 220 grams of that is protein. And if you're only having like 100 grams of carbohydrates, there's a lot of protein and fat, which means a lot of meat and cheese.
Can you help me? For reference, like you're talking about 220 grams of protein. I don't know, like a New York strip steak or something like that. How much protein is in just like a steak?
Well, I think it depends on how big your steak is. How big is your
12 ounces?
That's a pretty big steak. What are you compensating for, Adam Green?
My hunger.
He's going to show you the size
of the steak. It's the cut of the meat. Okay.
I'll look it up for you now, Mr.
No, I was just curious because, like you say, like it sounds like you're making it sound like it's a lot of protein eating. Like it probably is. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just kind of curious because I guess I've never thought of like a protein diet where you need to reach a certain number per day. Like,
so that a 12-ounce strip steak would have 70 grams. So I could have 3 of those in the day and still be 10 grams short.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you'd have out. It would be great.
I'd spend the rest of the day, the following day, in the bathroom trying to take care of situations.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on today's episode of Social Distance Protein.
Hey, it's the day drink episode, Yusuf, or as we should start to rebrand it, Yusuf's Hangover Recovery Day.
You know what? It's supposed to be like that. Shit happens is the only thing to say. Yesterday was supposed to be a lobster roll and a couple of good brews and then head home. But it didn't go that way, and that's someone's fault. We shall not use words like I or you to blame anybody. It's just someone's fault. What they do, politicians, they're just like, mistakes were made. Things have happened.
Some are saying that somebody made poor decisions.
My Saturday took a turn too halfway through. You know, I'm sitting here. We ran some errands, went and found I think the suit that I'm going to get for the wedding, and went to Costco, did a couple of things. And my fiance walks in. I'm writing an article. It's like, hey, do you mind if I'm a little random for a second? And I'm like, I don't think I can say no. She's like, you want to go to Flagstaff? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we ended up driving up to Flagstaff, got in about 6, went straight to Dark Sky, had some pizza, had some really good beers, saw Sam Fraser because he was randomly going up to Flagstaff too last night. So we spent the night in Flag. It was nice.
There was all banner ready to go. Adam's Big Adventure.
It wasn't that big.
No, it's there from when you went to San Diego, but I figured it was just staring right. Adam had a big adventure. Isn't it weird that he looks so small in his hands? Giant bread.
I like this.
I don't even know if this is a proper glassware to put this in, but here. Speaking of Guy, they have what? They've had Pizza Club and get pizza from Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really good. Like everything, the experience was great. We sat on the back patio that they have there and great service. The interesting thing that made it tough, like comforting but tough, was they asked not just masks when you're not at your table, but like anytime you're interacting with service staff, they want you to have your mask on, which is like, you appreciate that, right? Because it's like they're looking out for their staff too. The thing is though, like when you're just hanging out, having a beer, you're not thinking, and like they're great attentive service staff. Someone walks by, like, can we help? Like, oh shoot, sorry. Let me get this mask on really quick. You know, I don't want to be the jerk who's, you know, disobeying the rules and you know, conceivably putting them in more danger. But Like Dark Sky, I thought did a really good job of doing the best they could. And really Flagstaff as a whole, I was telling Brett pre-show, it was interesting that like apparently this was NAU move-in weekend for the dorms. So there were a lot of people in Flagstaff last night and today. And there didn't seem to be any issue with people wearing masks. Like everyone was wearing them, but people wearing, outside when they were waiting to go into places. The mask compliance was so high. It's like, you know what? And you don't want to be the jerk, like, because I don't necessarily think you need to wear them outside when you're just walking around. Like, I'll admit that I don't necessarily think it's, important for that. But when everyone else is wearing them, you feel like, you know what? I'm not going to be the jerk who doesn't.
Well, and
so it's like extra safe. Like,
plus, it probably protects your in the sun. You don't want to get sunburned lips.
And I was wearing the SDDC mask yesterday, so that was good. It's a good branding opportunity.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, the same thing when I went down to Elgin and like out there in Sonoita and Wine. Places are just doing outdoor and serving everybody at like a little bar top, so you can't go into the tasting rooms, and you got to wear a mask. Walk up to order, and you take your glass and go find your sit outside, and you drink there, and you come back or whatever. It was cool.
Yeah.
Also, it was just really freaking nice to go somewhere 15 cooler and sit out in the middle of the afternoon at 3 o'clock and not have to worry about melting. So I enjoyed it.
Wow. So it was move-in weekend for NAU, Adam. Do they already have Labor Day scheduled as move-out weekend? Because that's probably
no. Like we were talking when we checked into the hotel because there was no parking. The guys like you just park like in the where you like they have like the overhang where you're just gonna stop really quick to check in before you go to your parking spaces. Like there's no parking available, so just leave your car there. And they're like, what sort of like we didn't know what was going on, but even when we were looking for the spur of the moment hotel, it was hard to find one. He's like, yeah, it's NAU move-in weekend, and I'm like, they're doing that? People are moving in. I thought like colleges weren't doing that yet. So
it's ASU move-in weekend too.
And I didn't realize what was happening.
We just had a big letter from like the students and faculty being like, hey, we need these things to happen before we feel comfortable coming back to campus. The weekend they're coming back.
I read something, and I have to go back and look at it exactly what it was, but ASU apparently is letting people move in, but they're spreading out the days so that they don't have everyone moving in at once, and then can't stay in the dorms until class starts. So they can move in, but then they gotta leave.
It's weird. Like I will say that, like as busy as Flagstaff was, it never felt like, oh God, like I'm nervous, like I may need to take 6 showers after this, or I probably just got COVID, because everyone was wearing masks and seemed to be doing a good job. Like it's, like I said, everyone was doing the best they could. Even those situations when they're like staggering the movements and stuff, it's like no one wants to just like stop life altogether. No one wants everyone to get sick. So it's like that may be the best that anyone can do, right? Like staggering it, still start their college experience, but do it as safe as possible, which is what everything is. When you leave your house, you do it as safe as possible. Doesn't mean you're 100% safe, but you try to find that balance.
There are enough hippies up there that I would still probably want to take a shower after visiting NAU. It just, you got to watch the vegan.
You take more showers than most of what people do, though.
2, 3 a day. I mean, they're just nice, pleasant showers.
Oh, Adam.
All right. That's enough. That's enough.
It's Sunday.
It is Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, we've got a week actually. Tuesday, right? If I'm not mistaken, we've got joining us 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and then Thursday at 7:30 as well. We'll have Zane Lamprey, and that'll be a good time.
Awesome.
2 coming up this week. Our friend, our dear friend and cocktail correspondent, Bobby Kramer, was supposed to join us. Little boy, Arthur. Apparently, Arthur was being fussy, and he had to stay home for a little bit instead of going on time. So we were going to get brunch cocktails, and I'm sorry, guys. He's not going to be here to show us his dreamy eyes or make brunch cocktails for us.
I like how you called him out, though. Like, no one had to know that.
Well, I would call it out.
Like, no one had to know that he had committed to join the show and then could not. until you just said that. Like throwing Bobby Kramer and those pretty eyes under the bus like that is totally unnecessary.
I mean, Adam knows how to Jewish guilt someone, and you just really did that, Yusuf.
If it was bad enough that he called me out for calling him out, that's not good. It sounds like my internet's been a little choppy, which is super weird. Common. I'm gonna try and restart and come back. You guys hold down the fort. Don't the kids.
I missed half of what he just said with his choppy internet. His internet over 2.
It's weird because when he was down at Tombstone and like traveling, like okay, he's not going to have good internet. This was basically the same, and he's I think at his house where they have internet. So I don't know.
To be fair, there's like a 41% chance his computer had a truly spilled on it last night or sometime this morning. So, you know, you just don't know.
You just don't know. How's the one you're drinking, man? Because I just saw that available, and I'm like, I was curious about it.
Yeah, I got this and another can, so I could try to hold on to one where we can maybe try to share it. Super tropical. It actually settled down a little bit after like the first minute or so. Definitely real hoppy. It's a triple, 10%. A lot of like pineapple in there.
Okay.
Real easy drinking though. It has a very Wally quality to it.
And we're all fans of the Wally series.
Yeah, maybe a little more tropical version of a Wally, I would say, which is probably something you want to get your hands on.
Yeah, I would think so. So like I was in Flagstaff this weekend doing things. You kind of ventured out a little bit too yourself. And I know if it's like the differences between like the hippie liberal Flagstaff and where you were, but like what was your venturing out experience like this weekend?
I mean, totally the same people as hippie liberal Flagstaff, where in the morning I went and my fiance and I went to the Gilbert Farmers Market in downtown Gilbert for a little bit early in the morning. So it's all outside. Everyone's wearing masks. It was pretty nice. It was kind of hot. You know, only saw 1 or 2 people walking around with a QAnon shirt. So I'm sure you see that in Flagstaff too. And then Ellie and I wanted to try to get it. I've been craving going for a walk, and we took a day off from the virtual CrossFit things. We'd done workouts for 5 or 6 straight days. So we wanted to be able to go for a walk. So we decided we're going to go park at Southbridge and then walk across the bridge and maybe be a mall walker, like the old people that we are. So there's more people in there than I would have liked to have probably seen, but it's partially because a lot of stores were enforcing head count maximums, which meant people were lined up outside the stores, kind of pushing more people into the common areas. But everyone in Scottsdale Mall, which I'm sure, you know, the tableau of people there is exactly like it is walking around downtown Flagstaff, like to a man, the same exact people. You know, but you know, to their credit, everyone, I think it's required, but everybody seemed to be wearing a mask, mostly covering both their nose and mouth. I've seen a strange number of people with the old leave the nose out thing the last couple of weeks when I've ventured out.
I don't get that. Like never mind the fact that it's not like you do it that way, you're clearly doing it wrong, like you're masking wrong, but also just looks stupid. Like, not even people think you're dumb because you're doing it that way, but you look dumb too.
I mean, are they just really fooling us, and they're actually having one of those things that horses have that have feed in the bottom of the bag that's just like right there in front of them, and that's really what they're doing? And this is just an excuse to wear it in public?
Yeah, like the beer we have, Tombstone, the I'm Asking You Nicely, which I guess you could argue 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, was more like, please just. People are trying to do more of that now, we're seeing. And there's more mandates, which is probably a big reason why. But I know here in Arizona, I think the numbers have been improving somewhat over where they peaked again, you know, back when it was really bad. And probably masks are a part of that. And it's nice to see people just, it's not hard. And when you can get cool masks like our SDDC masks or other ones, it's like, you can.
Am I?
Distanced.
Did you just kick me off of my own show?
But my own show? What?
What? Hey, I'm hosting this, okay? I mean, literally, this particular live stream hosted on my head.
You got to give the people what they want, man, and it's more me.
Yes. I woke up recording, and man, there are a lot of things that I would like to do, but I'm going to need some more Adam Green first. Well, hopefully this is better. But thanks, guys, for holding down the fort.
We missed you.
I missed.
Is your computer running, internet running faster now that you went and dunked your face in a big bowl of ice water to try to snap out of your hangover?
Yes, it is. There's this kick lobster roll that I had yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty killer. Ignore the fact that there's beer in the glass. But hey, that lobster roll was really good.
Why did we just see a picture of that? What happened?
I was talking about yesterday. They had a lobster roll pop-up. The chef from Golden was doing lobster rolls at really, really good lobster rolls. So
Unfortunately, your internet cut out when you said doing lobster rolls at.
Sleepy Win.
Really, really good lobster rolls. So you left people hanging, myself included.
Well,
Yusuf is basically the old Wayne's World sketch in the movie where they go to the drive-in and Wayne is like, "I'd like a large." My favorite part is when they read back the order exactly right. Underappreciated scene.
Underappreciated movies.
Yes.
Probably.
What was the other? I'd say another movie that was under Weird Science. Do you guys remember that movie?
No.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen all of that movie in one sitting. I've seen like random bits and pieces.
Science, 1985. That's the year.
I mean, I might have seen it when I was 1 year old. So
Who's to say?
I can't remember who was in it, but there were two guys who wanted to, they made a girlfriend, right? They made a human, essentially. Robo girlfriend.
Thought that was the plot of the movie Her.
no, Her is a great movie though.
It is. It is.
Song from Weird Science. I can't remember the name of the band that did that, but do you know the song, Brett?
She blinded me with science.
Oingo Boingo. It was Oingo Boingo. There's a band no one has said out loud in a long time.
I just imagine some guy going to like clubs in Miami being like, "Hey, the lead singer of Boingo Boingo," and that actually working to get him laid.
I think they got the name Boingo Boingo.
It's Oingo Boingo. Okay, the first one, no B.
You didn't hear it me right. Your internet's too choppy. I said it correctly.
All right. Well, I mean, if my internet's choppy, I guess this would be a short show. That's upsetting.
It'll get you to your nap earlier, Yusuf, so you can recover.
No nap for me. I have to do today.
I think you said purposely connected to his dial-up modem for this show.
His mom's about to pick up the phone and kick him off. all the timely joke references going on today.
You know what? Those, even when DSL was still connected to your phone line, we left it. You still had to use your phone line to get on the internet.
You had a better connection back then to the internet too. That's what's crazy about this.
I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. Apparently, everyone is using the node in my house today, I guess. It's highly unfortunate. Let's keep talking about it. Maybe it'll get better.
You know what I learned? You're talking about old movies. I learned on Friday, Tam and I were starting watching The Umbrella Academy. And I don't know if you guys have watched that at all, but there's a character in it who reminded me of the Goombas from Mario Brothers, the movie. And I'm like, dude, reminds me of a Goomba. She's like, huh? Like my fiance has never seen the Ghostbusters movie, or Mario Brothers movie. She's seen Ghostbusters. That's happened in the house multiple times, but she's never seen Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
In my mind, when you said Goomba, you don't know who Goomba is, and I just imagine Tammy saying, "You know, I don't speak Yiddish."
I like Yusuf's delayed reactions with his slow internet. Yusuf, come back like you're reporting live from Iraq or something, so the delay makes sense and the choppiness. We just got to do it that way.
Yeah, that's right, Adam. I am. I'm really back here coming with the choppiness, and we are just—it's a lot of stuff going on everywhere right now.
To be fair, Adam, it's a long satellite signal time delay to Central Phoenix from Chandler.
I'm gonna go outside and start the smoke signals because that'll get to you quicker. But that's what I'll do from here on out. So, guys, watch Social Distance Smoke Signal Club next. It's a blast.
It's a spinoff. I think it could work.
Speaking of signals, everyone remembers the train derail and bridge collapse in Tempe weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So I opened up Facebook, where obviously the best news is sourced, to this morning, and someone posted something about the Tempe mayor, George Soros, and the fact that the train was a big conspiracy.
Of course they did.
So something about a protest anarchist propane tank.
You know what the best part of 2020 is? When you can't tell who's a Russian bot and who's just a fucking idiot.
That's true. At this point, I'd take some to just spice things up and bring a little intelligence to the game. Because I'm sorry, but like that's such a stretch, you know. Even let's say somehow propane tanks ended up on the train, like just that was a whole lot going on in that story. Hey, what's going on? He's in Denver. Nice.
I mean,
how do we?
I just assume that they were mostly blaming Obama.
Oh, they're doing that too. They're definitely.
Yeah. I have a hard time keeping up with all the conspiracy theories that are out there, and it saddens me because I always liked a good conspiracy theory, like the Loch Ness Monster, Area 51, things like that. But they've gone so bonkers, and there's just so many of them. I'm just like, I feel like I'm anti-conspiracy theory, and I don't like that. I want to be pro-conspiracy theory, but some of them are too ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, Adam, all those conspiracy theories are all like unique things that have some kind of fun element to them.
Well, Messi is real. We all know that.
Yeah, well, obviously, but all the political ones just ultimately lead back to Hillary Clinton sending an email funded by George Soros and Obama's Kenyan brother. So, like, it's no matter what the topic is, that's what it's coming back to, with a soupçon of Bill Gates is implanting you with something.
Hey, we can help Ty here today. We got. Let's say get Jamba or Caribou at the Denver airport.
I would go Caribou Coffee, my friend, but that's just me. Jamba's overrated. Unless Jamba wants to come over and say nice things about them. We can do that. I will say
it's gonna happen.
I like how Yusuf can call Jamba overrated when it's literally like they throw a fucking banana, strawberries, and orange juice in a blender, and Yusuf's like, it's been done.
Yeah, that's right. They just throw some fruit in a blender. If I keep my hand to my ear like that, I look like this terrible singer waiting for my audition for like America's Got Talent. Show them in live.
You know what the funny thing is? When you put your hand to your ear, it seems like it makes the internet work better. So you should probably just do that the whole rest of the show.
Is this good? If I use an antenna, are we?
I mean, it's not hurting.
It's not hurting. Speaking of conspiracies, though, like, I want to be anti-conspiracy. I was a big JFK like I researched the J. I wrote a paper on it. I was in 6th grade or 5th grade. It was back and to the left, guys. Back to the left.
The lone gunman thing, huh?
Can't be too magic bullet.
I mean, I'm personally shocked that young of George Soros was going to be a murderer of our U.S. president in the 60s.
Kind of how John Wilkes cryogenic himself. AFK.
You like how, which X-Men movie was it where it was Magneto who bent the bullet or something like that? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Some of these movies, like, they like retcon like old conspiracy, like, here's what actually happened. It's like, no, but it's fun.
Well, I mean, you tell me Magneto didn't do that? Magneto's real. He's not real.
Yeah, I know that, but he's kind of a good guy at heart.
Fair. Maybe that it was all to save the world.
Yeah, but Magneto is running a child sex trafficking ring out of a pizza shop in fucking Virginia. Don't you know that?
We can't have heroes, can we?
You never be your heroes.
Holy shit, you know about Magneto Gate? Magneto Gate, oh my god. All right, that's funny. Pizza shop? I completely forgot about Pizzagate. And did we talk about this a few weeks ago when I told you that people were implicating the Merkin pizza wagon up north in Pizzagate because they have, I mean, for people who know Maynard and like his style, pizza slice with an eye on it. It's like a cheese eye, right? Pepperoni or whatever's on there. So people were implicating them in Pizzagate because it's the Illuminati pizza truck.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Makes sense.
Cottonwood seems like the epicenter of Pizzagates. And Tupac
right there.
Yes, Ty did say Tupac is alive, which surprised me, guys. If Tupac were hanging out with Elvis and Bob Marley, even though age is nothing but a number at this point. So,
say Elvis, if he wasn't dead back when allegedly he died, would probably be deceased now, I think.
I think too. Didn't what was it? Drunk History Jeff played Elvis.
Your copy is AF, Yusuf.
Choppy.
That actually was perfect. He's trying to explain how choppy you're choppy AF. He's smiling. That's good.
Hold your hand back up to your ear. See if it helps.
Sorry. You have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
You guys can talk conspiracy. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Then go, man, go. Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, they murdered her soul long before she was murdered.
Obviously, like, that's not, people dying is never fun for, conspiracy fodder, I guess, if that's a thing. But some of them were like harmless conspiracies. Like Area 51 is harmless. The Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, things like that. I don't know if they're conspiracies as much as legends now that I think about it. But like, they don't hurt anybody. If I believe that the Loch Ness Monster is real, and also Lake Tahoe has Tahoe Tessie, like if I believe that, it doesn't harm anything. It's good fun. You get a stuffed animal when you go to the place at the gift store because everything is commercialized. But some of the new conspiracies are just, they're dangerous. Never mind that they're insane. They're dangerous.
Yeah, did you ever watch the show Parks and Rec?
I want to. I've caught episodes and I've enjoyed them, but I've never gone full into it.
There's an episode where a bunch of people think that the world is coming to an end like once a year, and it's like an annual thing, and they like have to reserve the park and get a permit. It's even they're more benign than these people.
What year was it? Was it, I want to say 2012, but I don't remember when it was like the Aztec or the Mayan calendar, so like the end of the world was going to happen. Was that 2012?
2012. Yeah.
The calculations were wrong. It was December 21st, 2020. We're well on our way.
I did see an article this week that said like scientists or whatever have just figured out that like a time frame from when the sun will turn, like basically the sun will implode, turn like a red dwarf or whatever it is, and like engulf like everything around it. So like the end is nigh. It might be millions of years, but it's still nigh.
The best part is when the sun becomes a red giant and literally sucks Earth into it. People will still be fucking blaming Hillary Clinton's emails and Barack Obama.
Hey, I just want to see his birth certificate. Yeah, at this point, I want to see everybody's birth certificate. Okay?
I don't know where mine is. I don't know if my parents might have given it to me for some reason.
Huh.
I think I had to reorder mine because mine got lost at some point in one of the moves. So you can just reorder one.
Are we sure you're an American?
Yeah. I'm gonna need to see your birth certificate, Brett.
I mean, the white privilege alone gives me a pass.
I got a buddy. I got a buddy from Hawaii that likes to feed the fodder sometimes. When people would make that joke, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Hawaii, man. That thing's not Hawaiian. That's a fake birth certificate. It's blatantly Hawaiian, but he just does it to piss people off. It's great."
What does blatantly Hawaiian mean? Also, is that a great beer name?
Great beer name, yeah. Yeah. There's like Hawaiian watermarks and things on there. I like. It smells like the ocean? I don't know.
It smells like the ocean, and if you walk with it 2 blocks from Waikiki, you realize you took a bad turn and need to head back.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't where I was supposed to get my poke.
What kind of poke?
You're about to get stab-aid if you go the wrong direction in Waikiki. Yeah.
I was even going for a different kind of poke, if you know what I mean.
Let's not scare people from going to Hawaii.
I found a banner here because we talked a lot about your trip to Tombstone and brewing. I'm asking you nicely, or I'm asking like our beer. What about Rune? How'd that go?
Rune was great. We had a fantastic time. You got to sit outside. You guys saw us hanging out outside for part of the show on Thursday. We were, drinking wine and cooking super late into the evening and around a fire. It cooled off, cold enough to actually want to be around a fire, which was nice. And the next day we drove down Elgin Road and hit a couple of spots. James is making a lot of wine for a lot of people out there. So we went to Deep Sky Vineyards and got to see them get some work done. Got to go over to the crush pad. They had some fresh grapes that they just brought out from Wilcox that were smelling and looking incredible, amazing. And then we went to another place, a newer one called Autumn Sage that I had never been to before. And James was making their wine as well. Beautiful estate, tons of grapes. Everything's ripe. I actually might have some photos. I posted some on Instagram, actually. So if you go to the gram, you can find that. It's right there. Social Distance Drink Club on Instagram. You can find some photos. But yeah, delicious grapes. The coolest thing was I drank a Counoise. I think it was their 2018 Counoise at Autumn Sage. And right behind me, where they were pouring it, so you sit outside, like I said, right behind me was the row of Counoise grapes. And they told me to just go grab one off of the ripest vine I could find and eat it while I was sipping on that wine. Perfect. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And we did go to the one brewery, from what I've been told. I think there's another one outside of there, but the one brewery that we found, Copper Brothel, they're new.
I saw that picture and I'm like, I've never heard of this place. What is it?
They're just they're a gastro brewery, essentially gastro pub brewery.
Don't let the name fool you. It's made of brass.
Copper Brothel, made of brass. A little bit of a weird name though, and I will say that. Like Copper Brothel, and their tagline is "Smooch the Hooch," and all of their beers have names like Roxy and La Gringa. So they're all women's names, and the posters are all old-timey Western saloon brothel-looking women. Ladies
That sounds like it'll play well in 2020 in today's society. That sounds like it'll be well received in
Have you
terms of.
been to Sonoita?
I have not.
There were precisely, no less than 12 Border Patrol agents having burgers at this place when I was there. This is Sonoita we're talking about.
You weren't nervous.
Yeah, you got arrested 3 times.
Yeah. You know why the internet sucks? I'm not at home. They sent me to a country I've never been to.
I was going to say, what's Guantanamo like this time of year?
A little muggy, but the Cuban sandwiches are incredible.
So they just call them sandwiches.
One Cuban guy and the other Cuban guy.
What'd you say, Green?
Like, don't they just call them sandwiches at Guantanamo?
No, and if you've seen Harold and Kumar, there are different sandwiches at Guantanamo that you don't want. So was that the second one that they did, right? That's the second one, Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
There's another weird movie that people don't talk about anymore. Harold and Kumar. You never saw it?
No.
Oh, that's neither of them. There were 2.
Yeah, there was the White Castle in Guantanamo, right? Like I've heard of them, never seen them.
Who was it? Was Neil Patrick Harris in the first one? I think not the second one. He was in the first one.
I think
can't remember.
Beats me.
Great, good talk, everybody. I'm glad that I'm watching really obscure films too.
My favorite thing is that Kumar actually is like really smart and then went and worked in the Obama administration after those movies.
Cal Penn? Yeah.
Where that's his name.
He was in another show like Designated Survivor.
He was also on House, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. Cal Penn was on House.
No, was he in House? He was in How I Met Your Mother. I know that.
No.
He was also in Van Wilder and Van Wilder 2, The Rise of Taj. Thank you very much.
Now that's cinema right there.
I mean,
First of all, Wilder is damn funny.
You got to admit, he's a versatile actor. Yes, he was in House. He played Lawrence Kuttner, MD, on the medical drama House with Hugh Laurie, the British guy who plays a great American.
Do you think House would have solved the COVID-19 pandemic by now?
Either that or overdosed on Vicodin at this point in the show. Yeah.
He probably would have first thought it was lupus, and it's never lupus. And then he would have gone on to a virus and probably figured it out.
I mean, House would have figured out the cure if smugness was the cure for COVID-19.
You just be arrogant towards the virus and it just like goes away.
I don't know how he does it, but his American accent is more American than most American accents.
We should hear his Boston accent.
What?
You should hear his Boston accent.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really good. I'm sure it's great.
Does that ever weird you guys out? Because like when I first started watching House, like I didn't know who Hugh Laurie was. I loved House; it's a great show. Then I would see an interview with him, and he's obviously speaking in his normal accent, his normal British. It's like, holy shit, that's what you sound like. And there's so many actors who, when I'm an adult, I understand these things more. But like, you sound way different than the character I know you as. Way different. It's a little jarring at first sometimes.
It is. Did you guys ever watch the show Chuck, the TV show? No. Okay, great. We're over on TV shows. Anyways, I can't remember the name of the actress that's in there. She plays the female lead. I'm looking it up right now. Yvonne Strahovski, but she's Australian, and she just plays this like bombshell blonde secret agent in Chuck with a normal American accent. But then I looked at the cast interviews, and she's very Australian. It's a trip.
Well, that's like 3/4 of the cast of The Walking Dead is actually British.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like literally like a very, very high percentage of that show are British people. Andy Lincoln's British. The actress that plays Maggie is British. The guy that was the governor is British. Lenny James, the guy who plays Morgan, is British.
Well, I don't understand why people aren't running around complaining about these immigrants taking our jobs.
They are now.
They're also taking our dialect. They're taking our accents.
It's incredible. They came in here and they stole our accent. And there are American actors who can play those Americans, okay? What's the saying?
Evidently there aren't.
Because the Queen's English was not written into The Walking Dead. So,
it was at one point. They had Andrew Lincoln do a news report in his own voice, but, you know, it's going to fanboy out a little bit.
I'm about a season and a half behind on Walking Dead. Once I got rid of cable, I lost my DVR recordings, and then I just stopped watching.
I watch popular TV series like people in Kenya just got the most recent Michael Jackson album. I haven't even started Breaking Bad yet.
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
Oh, God, what are you doing? Though, to be fair, season 2 of The Wire so far has been not as good as season 1.
Also, whatchamacallit, Game of Thrones? Nope, haven't done it.
I wish I could go back and not watch the last season of Game of Thrones.
That's so dumb, no.
The ending was trash. You know it.
But, like, are you one of those people, Brett, who, when they say, like, they hate the finale, right? And people did it with Lost. They did it with Game of Thrones, like, oh, I regret watching the whole thing. Now that was stupid. It's like,
no, I'm not. I don't think that at all.
You lose what happened before that. But people are like that, man.
Oh yeah, no, I still think the Rise of Skywalker is just like a pretend thing that didn't actually happen in the storyline, and they went the way I wanted them to go instead.
Wait a minute. What was wrong with the Rise of Skywalker for you?
Most of it.
Come on.
I thought it started from like the dead speak, and they bring back a fucking video game version of Emperor Palpatine cut in half that fell down a fucking Death Star shaft that blew up.
I was more concerned, that scene was more concerning to me because I saw so many ways that they should have been able to just kill Palpatine again that they didn't use.
Obviously, I haven't told Yusuf my what I thought was a really cool theory that would tie together 1 through 9 and even make episode 1 things not be so stupid. And Last Jedi seemed to set it up, and then instead they were like, no. We need to make a crowd pleaser. Let's do something for the layperson.
What's your theory? I'm enlighten me. I'm curious now.
The short version is that the prophecy misread may have been over bringing balance to the Force wasn't actually about Anakin bringing power for the Jedi versus the Sith, but it was actually about finding the balance of the light and dark side within, because the Jedi used to not want to possess, not be married, not love. And it would have been like a really smart way of like tying it all together. And he still could have been the one that brought balance to the Force. And instead, no, let's make Rey Palpatine's love child, I guess. Also, there was things in Last Jedi that seemed to be setting up things that were not that. And they just were like, fuck it. Let's make something that'll at least sell $500 million worth of tickets.
I did think that there were a lot of cop-outs, for sure. Things were definitely set up.
That was the movie was one big cop out.
Of those 3, like the newest ones, I think it was The Last Jedi. So the middle one, there was one scene that I absolutely hated. And are we allowed to give spoilers on this show? It's been long enough, right?
I think that movie's like 6 years old, probably.
Okay, yeah. When at that point Carrie Fisher had passed away already, right? And we knew that long before the movie came out. They had this scene where like the ship they're on like got blown up, whatever, and she's in space, and you're like, oh, this could be like kind of like a noble send off. This is what happens. And then she like force wills herself back onto the ship, and at that point, and I guess maybe it's in the books, like the comics and stuff, that she had like Jedi training, but we didn't know that at the time that they put into The Last Jedi. And I'm like, that's dumb, because like you're thinking at the time probably like this is how they sent her off, because obviously she passed away in real life. And then she like force wills herself onto the ship to show her like, wait, what? It just looked dumb to me.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a weird one. They gave her like super flying fucking powers, and I didn't really like that at all.
No one has those powers. No one before had those powers.
If they wanted to tie it all together, the Wachowski brothers should have been involved, and then Neo could have flown in from the Matrix.
Whoa.
Thank God Bill and Ted's coming out again. Oh, man.
God, I hope they just like reshoot the ending of it and actually Bill and Ted just get in a time machine and deliver a vaccine for coronavirus. Wouldn't that be like the world's best cheap edit at the end to like actually do that?
Be excellent to each other and also vaccinate your kids. Like, you know?
Totally Socrates.
Totally Socrates. What a great movie, man. You know, they gave me the Bill and Ted DVD at a Pizza Hut. I am dating this because think back to when Pizza Hut had dine-in places. You could go in and order breadsticks and pizza and sit down, and someone would.
Like they had that recently, but I didn't want to go dine in at a Pizza Hut.
I think they still have that.
Yeah,
I think a Taco Bell now too.
Okay, well, that's different. I'm talking. This was like it was nice. There were booths, and you know, look for me as a kid, that was like a night out with my family. My parents would be like, "Hey, you know, we're gonna go meet up with Grandma and Grandpa and get some pizza at Pizza Hut." You know,
I mean, I grew up in Gilbert too. There weren't a lot of options, man.
I mean, this was in Tempe. I wasn't even in Gilbert at the time, so you commentate. Once we were in Gilbert, different
the Pizza Hut buffet. Do you guys remember the buffet?
Yeah, I remember the buffet.
That was the best.
The salad bar? Yeah.
You don't impress with salad.
Hey, has anyone here seen a Sizzler recently?
I think we drove by one in Flagstaff this weekend, actually. It was near our hotel.
Oh, yeah, I think there is one in Flagstaff on the way into town.
Does anyone remember the last time they went to a Sizzler?
20 years ago?
I remember little cheddar biscuits or something that were like just fire. But that's the only.
Red Lobster. You're thinking of Red Lobster.
No. Different. Sizzler's got a cheddar biscuit. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Hey guys, not the thing to pick a fight over.
You want to fuck with me, pal? I know my Sizzler cheddar biscuits, buddy. And with that being said, I looked it up, and they were called the Almost Famous Cheddar Biscuits from Sizzler. So,
wow, what a cross promotion with Cameron Crowe's movie.
Also, Sizzler's going to be our sponsor now. You know that, right? They're going to be ones calling like, we will sponsor the Social Distance Drinking Club.
Yeah, as long as you guys do one episode a week called the Social Distance Biscuit Club.
I do really like biscuits, though. I would do a show about biscuits.
Okay.
Oh, Adam Green, next time you go to Seattle, you got to go to a place called Biscuit Bitch.
Yes.
It's delicious, and they also call everyone a bitch in there. They're like, "What do you want, bitch?" Which is kind of delightful, actually.
It's like going to the Wiener Circle in Chicago. You get insulted and you pay for it.
Yeah.
If you've never been to the Wiener Circle, go look it up. Maybe the Wiener Circle will sponsor us. But it is hilarious. They have videos of all the interactions they had there. There's one with Triumph, the insult comic dog.
With Jack McBrayer? Yeah. That is delightful.
It's really, really funny. And then during the pandemic, they like set up an online ordering system and then a FaceTime phone number. So you could, if you got through to order food, they would also insult you over FaceTime in case you missed being harassed verbally by the employees at the Wiener Circle. And they put up an ad campaign on YouTube and Facebook about it. That was just one of their employees outside with everything closed saying to go only. And as people would walk by, they'd be like, "You ugly bitch." Just somebody walking over, you know. And it's like, do you miss it? We miss it too.
I'm just realizing that Wiener Circle is just like dominatrix hot dogs. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Beer name? Maybe. Dominatrix hot dogs might not be a great beer name, but it could.
Did he just distance himself?
I
didn't do that.
I'm going to complete his sentence for him. He was going to say dominatrix hot dog could be a great relish name.
Fine. I was gonna say it could be Dominic's Hot Dog could be a great restaurant name, just perfect. But it's not funny anymore because the timing is over. It's just like this episode of Social Distance Drinking Club.
It's all about timing.
What you got there? What's drink number 2, Yusuf?
Drink number Truly.
He's actually doing this right too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he was doing it right, he wouldn't be drinking a Truly.
Yeah, that's a given. But
You know what? I had this conversation with our friend Justin Evans, from Sleepy Whale, Wandering Tortoise, and Theodore, and
nice name drop.
Yeah. We had this conversation. We said, "There's nothing wrong with a little seltzer action. Nothing wrong."
Okay.
So
I don't.
I mean,
Sleep at night.
what's wrong with Truly's, guys?
Nothing if they sponsor us.
Yes, nothing of the sponsors. I will say this: I did get a case of that seltzer you said had vitamins and shit in it, because they were out of Truly's at Fry's, and those were on sale for like $11, and they're garbage. They're terrible.
I only had the one flavor, and I'm like, nope.
It smells nice and fruity, and then you get the first bit of the sip, you're like, oh, fruit. And then it ends tasting like a Flintstones vitamin that got lodged in your fucking wisdom teeth 20 years ago.
I was going to say, like, when Flintstones vitamin is the best quality I can ascribe to it.
Excuse me. It is exactly what I tasted at the end. It was like Flintstones vitamin chalkiness at the back of the mouth.
They should call this flavor Chalky Barney Rubble.
Barney Rubble. Mr. Fraser missed it by that much. Just a bit. And if you meant missing the show, no, you're here. You're right on time. We're at the meet. Is that a dog you're petting over there?
Me? Yeah, my dog's right here.
Oh, hi, Dexter. Can't really see him, I guess.
No, you really can't. The camera's set up mostly for me because I try to make this, conducive to a better show.
I think you're missing the point. No one actually wants to see us. They want to see our pets.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for Wally and Ren this entire time.
The door is shut, and they alternate between tackling each other and running around like crazy people. Also, Wally has a weird habit of peeing places right now, which is unfortunate.
That is a weird habit. Well, if we're wrapping up the show with Fuzzy Dexter Cam, I guess I'll give you my favorite. Zizou has been the laziest freaking cat in the last couple of weeks. So there you go, guys.
Pet the kitty. Give kitty belly rubs right now.
Give kitty belly rubs.
Kitty wanted them.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted. So, hi, buddy. I know, right? It's kind of cute. Look at him. He matches the floor, though, so it's not great when you wake up in the middle of the night to go get a glass of water. It's scary.
And as with anything on the internet, this episode eventually leads to a cat video.
They always do. They always do. This time it's a cat video with Yusuf laying on the ground.
Kind of cat video.
After 2 drinks. It's really just an eventful episode of Social Distance Drinking Club.
Usually you're on the ground after 2.5.
Thanks.
But it previews a really good week of Social Distance Drinking Club, right, Yusuf? We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We have a busy week ahead of us, a busy and fun week ahead of us.
Indeed. And Tuesday, we'll have Barbarian Brewing out of Idaho, right? Tell me I'm not wrong.
Boise.
Thank you, Boise. I just couldn't remember if it was Boise or not. Barbarian will be joining us. We're going to do live tasting, chat with them, find out some more about what they've got going on. And then on Thursday, the one and only Mr. Zane Lamprey will be joining us to hang out, have a drink, tell us about his latest piece of apparel from Adventure, and maybe some insider info on people like Steve McKenna and what the hell happened to him. So, what the hell happened to Steve McKenna?
By the way, has this show ever had a week where the slope of the line of episode quality has ever been quite so steep from Sunday to Thursday?
Yes, almost every Tuesday.
Starts down there with today. Tuesday is like up here. Thursday.
We're killing it this week, gang. We're killing it. Oh man. And on that note, don't forget to support the show. Check out socialdistancedrinkingclub.com. Links there at the bottom. And keep an eye out for the live links for Tuesday and Thursday. So you can join us with the live tasting with Barbarian and hang out with Zane Lamprey on Thursday for a little Thirsty Thursday with Zane. Gentlemen, I think I'll have another beverage, but we'll do this one offline. This has been yet another episode of the Sunday Day Drink and Social Distance Drinking Club. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on Tuesday at 7:30. Your glass is empty. We should fix that.